Thought I would share how I make my thumbnails in Canva in case you want to learn how that I do that. I generally make the thumbnail or have the thumbnail idea before the video. At least I started to do that once I realized that it's better to do it that way. I had to try it. I was before doing it the opposite way and having the video done and then trying to figure out the thumbnail and title. And then I learned from someone who explained it like it's actually better to do it in this order, and it is better. I have to tell you, it is better to do the thumbnail and title and the hook, and then create the video. It's just it works smoother. I had finally somebody had said it in a way that made sense, and so I tried it, and they were right. So I use Canva, which is there's free version, but there's also a paid version. I don't have an affiliate link. You can just go to canva.com and check that out. First, we create a YouTube video thumbnail, which I'm already in that part. You can go to the beginning and then, when you get into Canva, you'll see it'll say different options of what you can create. And I create the YouTube thumbnail. So that's where we're at. We're at the right sizing for YouTube thumbnail. I've already created it, as you can see, but I'm going to recreate it with a different image below so you can see how it's done. So I have elements that I've already uploaded. These are images that I've uploaded. You just press this and then your files will pop up and then you can upload images to your Canva account. Now, I used one image and now I'm going to use a different one where I'm looking forward, just a different way of looking. And I may do an A/B test to try this out on YouTube. You can test out different thumbnails. I'm going to see if people like me looking forward or looking at the text, which one is better. And maybe I won't do it, but I'll decide before I upload. I'll decide which one I prefer more. So the first thing I usually do is I take the image and then I press this little button here and it says remove background. You might need Canva, the Pro Canva version, in order for that to work. There we go. I'm not sure. It could because it does have the little, it does have the little a Pro thing on there. So you might need the Pro version in order to do just like the click of a button background removal. And so then I will go and I will edit the image itself. I usually try to use the uh, automatic adjust, auto adjust, I guess is what it's called, to see what it looks like. And it usually makes me a little bit too warm. So I turn down the temperature a little bit. I do like what it's doing to my shirt, so I'm happy about that. But it also changes the color of my skin a little bit too much. So I might just lower it just a little bit. So I go back to my uploads because I have an image of the background that I like to use, and I just position it so that it fits. I use this one over and over again, and I took a screenshot of it and made it an image because I like to change the side of the lighter side toward the darker side sometimes. So that's why I took a picture of it. And so in Canva, you can position these by going to the position button up here, and you can position where stuff goes. So right now I have this background in the front and I'm going to make it go to the back. I'm going to flip the background because I like being on the lighter side with my image here. So I will then make my image larger, as large as I can get it to where it doesn't look crazy. Might make it a little bit bigger and just put myself down a little bit. Okay, so there we go. And then the next thing I do is I will go back to edit and I will put a shadow behind me, just like a little shadow, just so that there is a difference, a more pronounced difference. It gives it a little bit of depth. So you press on drop. I use a drop shadow. But then you can use all these little levers to change the amount. So the distance, I'm going to change the distance. I'm going to change the intensity a little bit, and the blur amount, I think. Yeah, like that. Maybe I'll do that too. And it kind of moves the image around a little bit. So that is how I do that. And then I will go to the text. So all of the buttons that you need are on the side there. And I will take an image box. I just pick one. I probably should have the one that I use saved all the time, but I don't. So I just use the one that's there and I change it. And this time I'm using this Archivo, I think it's called, black, which I go between two different ones, but I like the thick fonts. And then I'll put the words don't quit, and I'll make them as big as I can, that makes sense, the way, like not obnoxiously big, but bigger. And I will change the color. Usually I've been using white on with a black shadow. So I'm going to put a shadow on it. Here we go. You press effects for the shadow for that. And right now it's white on white. So I'm going to take black and make it black. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to make the transparency almost nothing. And then the blur amount, I'm going to up the blur amount because I want it more of a blurred background, not such a sharp background. Shadow. So there, I have don't quit. And then I always tend to use the YouTube logo. So I grab the YouTube logo here, and it is always black. So I'll go and I will change it to a red. I just like this one. So I just go through the process of changing it and making it look the way I want it to look. So I'm just going to use the color in my shirt red. And I also will probably put a shadow on it as well, just to give it some depth. And then I'll also need to make a little square box so that I can fill into the white that's not there. So I'm going to do the shadow a little bit, and it's already black, so that's good. And then, so now I have to make the little white box to go behind it, which is this. Oops. I pressed something wrong, I guess. There we go. There's a little box. I'm going to scroll it down and make it white. So I'm going to make it white, and then I'm going to send it to the back, or send it backward. So we got that, and then I'm going to send it backward. And there we go. So more than likely, this is one of these two will be my image for, or be my thumbnail for the next video that I'm planning right now. I've already recorded it and I already had this idea. So I think one of these will be what I end up putting in front of it, or maybe both with the A/B testing. So that is all. I hope that was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, let me know.